Hey, Dominic.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, good.
I'm just gonna move this over.
Hey, guys, let's wait for a few minutes more and then we will start. Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining today's community webinar, XDC Tech Webinar 6.0. We are excited to introduce LayerZero and its powerful features in this session. We will walk you through a live demo of the LayerZero and its introduction to showcase its capabilities in an action. Let's quickly start with the introduction to our team and our guest. Myself, Omka Mistry, Head of Technology and Engineering at XDC Network. Joining me today is Mr. Anil Chinchavale, who is the Head of Protocol Development at XDC Network, and Mr. Suresh Nadar, who leads the social media for XDC Network. Also joining us today, Mr. Dominic from LayerZero team. Thank you for joining us today, Dominic.
Thanks for having me, guys. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So moving forward with the XDC Network presentation, right? So yeah, XinFin was founded in the year 2016, registered in Singapore, and with the headquarters in Dubai and India. So we have launched the main network, XDC Network mainnet, in the year 2019, and it's live more than 5 years now. We are obviously EVM-compatible Layer 1 blockchain network powered by the XDC tokens, which supports the entire XDC ecosystem. XDC Network is a hybrid blockchain network which actually combines the public and the private networks and making it suitable for both the sectors. It's run on the delegated proof of stake like DePIN system, which allowing the faster transaction, lower energy use, and high efficiency. And it will also perfect for any industries like trade and finance, financial institute, and so on. Just on the other side note that we have recently launched, our mainnet upgrade with our XDC network, XDC 2.0, which has a military grade security and advanced forensic monitoring in it. Yeah, so let's see the advantages of the XDC network. So we have achieved over more than 2,000 transactions per second with a penalty, 2 to 3 seconds of a block penalty. It also offers a near to zero transaction fees. We also offer the KYC enabled master nodes, right, to ensure the compliance and the regulatory in any country. So we have already developer tools like Wallet Explorer, Remix to deploy a smart contract on the XDC network. So here are some few of the XDC network highlights. Like we have over 18,000 plus smart contract already deployed on the network. Almost 3 million plus accounts with the 6 million plus transactions on the daily basis. The We have almost 108 masternodes with actually, mines a block. Along with this, there are standby nodes, which is around 250 plus, who are actually backing up the masternodes. The market cap is 2 billion and so on. So staking volume is about $3 billion with the 4.5 million total volume. So coming back to the wallet, so XDC can be stored on those wallets like Gorda wallet. We have a free wallet. We have a Elipal. We have a Decent, Ledger, Trezor, right? And there are many more which are already there listed over there on the XinFin website. So these are the top exchanges where the XDC is getting traded and its tokens. Like we have a Bitfinex, Gate.io, KuCoin, Liquid, HTX, Bitrue, Bitgate, and so on. So we have been running with the existing incubation and the acceleration program. So we have we have tied up with the Foundership, Tenity, T-Hub, Plug and Play, Launchpool, right? So if anyone wanted to run their application, or if anyone wanted to, deploy their application on the XDC network, and they are looking out for some kind of a grant, so they can simply scan this QR code and just apply it for the available, options. So these are our ecosystem partner. Like we have a Comtech Gold, Storage, Securitize, TradeTech, Securrency, Stresses. These are the few. There are many. Actually, it's because of the limitation of the slide. So we have listed few of these ecosystem partners here. You can find there are many ecosystem partners out there on the XinFin website. Yeah, you can follow us on our, these are the social media channels. Like we have a YouTube channel that is a XinFin XDC Network. We are also there on the Medium, so you can just simply find the XinFin and you will get all those Medium article links. Our website is xinfin.org, and our Telegram channel is like XDC underscore network underscore updates, and we have almost more than 6,000 or 7,000, members associated in our Telegram channel. We have a GitHub repo, right? You can find it on the you can just simply search XinFin.org and you will find all the XinFin related repos. And we also have a Twitter account like XDC underscore network where we have almost 120K followers. Yeah, that's it from my side. Now let's hear more about the LayerZero from Dominic. Dominic, over to you. I'll just quickly stop sharing my screen so that you can able to share the screen.
Yeah, let me just pull up our website here. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Honestly, I'm just going to share what our website looks like here.
Okay. Suresh, can you just have a look if Dominic has the rights to share his screen?
Yeah, I think he should have that.
Just see. All right, I think I should be able to share now. Can you guys see this here? Hello? All good. Wonderful. Okay, well, anyways, I appreciate you guys having me on today. It's been a pleasure working with the XDC team. Really excited for us to have gone live with this integration. I guess like a little bit more about LayerZero to begin. So LayerZero is an Omnichain interoperability protocol. Obviously, that's a mouthful. And so what that actually means is that we allow for blockchain to blockchain communication, whether it's going to be sending value or data or state from network to network. We facilitate point-to-point cross-chain messaging. And so whether it's applications looking to expand across multiple networks, asset issuers looking to deploy tokens across multiple ecosystems, or games and assets to be able to seamlessly interact across multiple networks. And so we've been live in market for 3 years now, facilitated over $75 billion in value transferred across 125 different blockchains to date, without a single exploit or security inference. Now, in terms of what LayerZero and XDC is doing, we deployed an endpoint to the XDC network. And so what that means is that XDC now has the ability to seamlessly transact and transfer any sort of data, state, or value within the LayerZero mesh. And so we currently support 125 different blockchains, as I mentioned. And so now with XDC deploying these endpoints, for context, an endpoint is an immutable set of smart contracts that we deploy to these chains and allow for complete interoperability across the rest of the space, whether it's going to be EVMs or non-EVMs. So we support on the EVM side, obviously all major chains, as well as on the non-EVM side being Solana, Aptos, and recently Ton. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot that obviously we can kind of touch on today. 3 of our core pillars are being censorship resistant, immutable, and permissionless. And so in terms of actually censorship resistance, we are in favor of the fact that when it comes to this new internet that we are building, the ability for any sort of government entity or different centralized entity to be able to censor messages, whether it is going to be a governance vote or a transfer of funds from chain to chain, that is completely resistant within the architecture of LayerZero. As well as the belief that as we built out these new crypto rails, immutability is extremely important. And so in terms of actually laying this foundation down, all of our core contracts are completely immutable. There's no going to be shipping of upgrades that potentially have malicious code, etc. All of our architecture is consistent of this idea of append-only libraries. So every application or ecosystem has the ability to opt into new upgrades. So when we went live from V1 to V2, every application that was live on V1 had the ability to choose to append within the V2 architecture. For context, the V2 architecture, let me see if we have anything here. I guess I can kind of show you, I'll walk you through what this actually looks like. This is what an actual cross-chain message flow looks like. And so how the architecture is laid out is that we have this thing called the security stack. And the security stack comprises of a modular set of verifiers. And so we believe in this idea of application-owned security. And so for every single application and asset issuer looking to build on top of LayerZero, they have the ability to go into this verifier marketplace and choose any quorum of verifiers that will be attesting to a cross-chain message. So currently today we have roughly 45. Anyone can be able to run their own BVN as well. So if you want to have the ability to have veto rights and have control within your actual cross-chain messages, you can do so. We've seen a variety of partners do this, whether it's going to be Ondo, PayPal, Google, etc. There's a variety of different verifiers with a different verification methodology in place. And so we believe in this idea of application-owned security. And so for anyone that's building on top of LayerZero, they have complete control over contracts as well as how cross-chain messages are verified. We support, a variety of different verticals within the space, whether it's going to be from DeFi, being LRTs, LSTs, lending markets, money markets, etc. On the infrastructure side, LayerZero is the messaging protocol. So there's a misconception that LayerZero is simply just a bridge, and that is, quite frankly, just not correct. And so we actually power bridges, whether it's going to be an intent protocol like Mock Finance, where we facilitate the actual settlement and rebalancing of funds for solvers, or Stargate, which is one of the, if not the largest bridge in market to date. We facilitate all the cross-chain messaging on that front for the liquidity pool-based system there. Not to mention gaming as well. We've worked very closely with one of the biggest games actually in Web 2 and Web 3 being Play Off the Grid and the Gunzilla team. It's been incredible to see, obviously, gaming be able to expand across multiple networks, but that is the general idea. And I mean, for those that are also looking to build within our ecosystem, we have what is called LZ Catalyst. LZ Catalyst is a builder program that is with the best interest of supporting our ecosystem builders. So anyone that's building on top of LayerZero has the ability to apply to the LZ Catalyst program and meet with some of the best and largest investors in the world. So contrary to going with the route of, let's say, a grants program, we align you guys with some of our major investors on our cap table. So to date, there's roughly 10 different investors between A16Z, Animoca, et cetera, et cetera. Couple other things, but generally speaking, we're very excited to obviously be supporting what XDC has been doing. And so another, I guess, piece of a caveat that we are going to be announcing shortly is that XDC will be choosing the Omnichain fungible token standard. What that is the ability to extend any ERC20 or SPL20 to have native interoperability across all of the LayerZero supported networks. So in terms of XDC, they have the ability to let this asset move freely across all LayerZero chains. But yeah, all in all, we are extremely excited to be supporting what you guys have built and worked on over the past many years. And in terms of all application builders on top of XDC or looking to expand to XDC, we're happy to support you. It's a very, very low lift process for actually deploying Omnichain contracts. And yeah, really looking forward to obviously working more with you guys.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for the presentation, Dominic. So we would like to have, we'll pause the session for a few minutes, like in case if anyone has any questions, and then we can continue with the demo by Dominic. I think there is no questions yet. So yeah, Dominic, like you can just continue with the demo here.
Yeah, I mean, is there any questions regarding LayerZero? Anything that you guys are looking to specifically learn more about or get, I guess, more awareness on?
Yeah. So hi, Dominic. This is Anil from XDC. When we are talking to the company, the dApps who wanted to go on board on XDC network, they want how how easy is to LayerZero support to go multi-chain. Could you go with that flow? Give us heads up. This would help users to understand how it works.
Like actually, sorry, what was the question? How actually users can be able to build omnichain applications?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, let me pull up our docs here. Where are we here? Mm-mm-mm. Let me show. Can you guys all see that now? I assume should be good. Yeah, so obviously there's a variety of ways that you can build on top of LayerZero. We have the idea. We have a variety of ways. So there is OAP contracts, there is OFT, and then there's ONFT. So what each of them are is as follows. ONFT is as expected. It's the Omnichain non-fungible token standard. Anyone that has an existing or is looking to launch an NFT that lives across multiple different networks can do so with these contracts. Now, it's one thing to obviously let and support your ecosystem or your community to be able to live vicariously across different chains, but also there's a lot more that you can do with these sorts of integrations when it comes to actually gamification of these minting or experiences. So if an ecosystem is looking to actually deploy assets across multiple different chains simultaneously and allow their users to be able to mint or move with a specialized experience, they can do so. Secondly is the OFT standard, which is the Omnichain Fungible Token Standard. As I mentioned, this is simply a burn and mint. So we believe at LayerZero that the future of crypto will be all around native assets. We do not want to have a bunch of wrapped assets where you can't seamlessly move them across different chains. You have to return back to your source or deal with wrapping and unwrapping. So what we did was built this contract standard that allows any existing as well as new forward-looking tokens to be able to choose the chains that they want. So where I can show you is that we have two contracts. There's the OFT native and there's OFT adapter. For anyone that's simply already in market today and are looking to expand across different chains, they can use the OFT adapter contract. And so what that entails is that, for example, PayPal, PYUSD, or on even memes like WIF or Pepe, they were all tokens that were already trading on, let's say, mainnet or Solana. And so what they can do is they can adopt the OFT adapter contract and simply have OFT contracts deployed on every single chain. So in terms of, let's just say, for example, recently we saw Aptos, Plume, and Say all expand to Solana with the launch of PumpSwap, the new native AMM on Solana. They want to be able to tap into that liquidity, but they live and reside on their own L1 and L2 networks. So what they had the ability to do is deploy these OFT adapter contracts on the source chain and an OFT contract on the destination chain. And what will simply happen is that it will be a lock on source and mint on destination. Now, the cool thing about this is that contrary to having to lock, mint, and then lock again on the destination, you have complete native movement and flow across every other pathway that you choose to deploy these contracts to. So what that means is that, let's say there's 3 chains that I want to be living on. For example, in terms of XDC, they have the native token on XDC, they have OFT contracts on Arbitrum, and they have it on Solana. What would happen is that would be lock 100 tokens on XDC network, mint 100 tokens on Solana, and contrary to having to lock again there, they can burn on Solana and mint on Arbitrum. And so having the ability to actually let your users and your community seamlessly move these assets without having to wrap, unwrap, bridge, etc., is a very, very great flow. And we've seen a variety of different partners have separate implementations. we'll continue to see and support all these teams. But that's generally how the idea of OFT works. There's a bunch of contracts here that obviously you guys can look through. It's very, very low lift. We've seen teams turn this around within days. Lastly is the OAP contracts. So this is the idea of allowing any application to have Omnichain functionality. So whether it's going to be sending, a governance vote, whether it wants to be sending some sort of logic or data from one chain to another, you can deploy these OAuth contracts and have your ecosystem expand seamlessly. So whether it's going to be a lending market, whether you want to have the ability to facilitate cross-chain deposits, there are many ways you can implement OAuth contracts, but the idea is that we personally believe that every single application should have the ability to tap into the ecosystems of these new chains. And so for us to be able to offer that, we are excited to continue to see more and more builders come there. Another implementation that I guess I haven't really spoken to yet today is LZ Read. And so what LZ Read is the idea for any single application to be able to fetch and query state from a different chain at the tip of the blockchain. So, instead of having to actually, what currently, I guess, lives in today is mainly push messaging. And so what push messaging would be is that you are going to push the message saying, I'm going to burn on source and push that information to destination to mint. Now, that is great. And in terms of actually facilitating different design patterns, etc., you can still do querying of destination chain information, but it can be two things. One, cumbersome for the user, as well as two, gas intensive. And so what we built was LZ Read, this data primitive. And what it unlocks is that you have the ability to query state within a single function call. And so, for example, we've had a couple different implementations of this. We had Shadow NFTs, which was done by Yuga Labs in the Ape Chain ecosystem. As you guys know, that obviously there's a lot of lore within the Ape and CryptoPunk, etc. Backstory, the ability or the request for these chains to say, hey, I want you to port over all of your assets to Ape Chain when they went live is a little bit of an ask. Now, that being said, if you have the ability to use LZ Read and verify the ownership of these assets on mainnet, well, without having to ever leave Ape Chain, is something that we were really excited to see. So Shadow NFTs unlock this. If I'm a user on Ape Chain and I want to be able to interact with a specific application that requires me to hold a Bored Ape, instead of having to bridge over that ape, I can simply use LZ Read to query the actual authenticity of my ownership on mainnet within a single function call. So this could also be done. We've done a couple other implementations. We facilitated the settlement of cross-chain election votes for Chaos and Wintermute. So if you want to be able to query the governance votes or specific, logic from a different network without having to leave that chain, you can do so with LZ Read. Now, there's a variety of different implementations and ideas that we've put out to market. We're looking to see built. If anyone has specific questions on those, I can share with you a pretty strong blog post for everyone to check it out. Speaking of, I'll actually share all of our blogs for anyone to read in chat here. Let's see. But yeah, that's a little bit more information. We just recently launched this thing called VAP this morning. Really, really exciting. The idea of verifiable applications. This is a primitive that we've been working on it installed for a little while now and just recently went and announced this morning. So I will also send you guys the information on that as well.
That's great to hear, Dominic. I think there are a few queries posted in the chat box. Would you love to take a look at it?
Perfect. Yeah. Let's see what our people say. Here. Alrighty, what have we got here? We have what mechanisms are in place to prevent replay attacks across chain, and how is gas estimated and paid for the destination chain during message delivery? Yeah, great question. So in terms of actually how the cross-chain message verification and execution is done, what we did for V2 was we decoupled the liveness and execution portion of the cross-chain message. So previously in V1, we had these things called relayers and oracles, where the relayer had to actually do both verification and execution. Now with V2, we have DVNs, which are decentralized verifier networks, as well as the executors. And so the DVNs are the portion where a quorum of verifiers will attest to a specific message. Without reaching quorum, you will not be able to push that message to the executor. And so how that idea works is that it's based off of an X of Y of N. So let's just say I want a subset of, I need 2 mandatory verifiers out of these 4 with 2 additional ones in case of liveness issues. So completely mitigating the concern of any sort of liveness or verification, I guess, issues. In terms of how is gas estimated and paid for during a cross-chain message, what is done is it's facilitated through the executor, which is a second leg of the cross-chain message. And the executor will actually quote gas at the destination chain and bake it into a one-time source fee on the origin chain. And so the user does not have to ever think about destination gas, which improves that, I guess, user experience as well. Hopefully that answers your question. What are the minimum contract interface requirements to integrate LayerZero with an EVM-based DApp? Can you provide more context on this? You're able to simply utilize any OAP or OFT contracts with your existing or forward-looking application very, very seamlessly. All that they're going to do is that you're going to deploy these OAP contracts, and they are going to be interfacing with the endpoints. And so the endpoints will be able to handle the actual the message from point to point. So we have these message libs that will be able to consume byte the payload, the destination ID, the source ID, as well as any sort of information regarding the security stack. So it's all configured on your guys' end. We are obviously happy to support you guys, but in terms of actually getting these up live for any of the contract standards, it's very, very low. Has LayerZero undergone independent audits for its messaging protocols and endpoint? Yes, we are probably, I think we had the largest spend on audits, maybe top 3 across all of crypto. We also have the biggest, maybe second biggest bug bounty in the world across Web 2 and Web 3 at, I believe, $10 to $15 million. So in terms of security, we take that very, very seriously. How does LayerZero handle congestion or high gas scenarios on destination networks? I mean, that's not something that we would specifically handle in terms of ways to optimize that. Obviously, all of our contracts are as light as possible, and we want to make sure that gas is as efficient as can be. But that comes down to the application on how they want to configure it, whether it's going to be a specific set of block comms, if they're going to be baking in fees, etc. But at the end of the day, it's on a per pathway basis. So every single one of your cross-chain application deployments can be modular. If you want to have a specific set of verifiers for transfers of $1,000 and more, then you can do that. If you want to have a lesser set on that front, if you want to beef that up, it's completely up to you. We provide the infrastructure for every single application to be able to choose what best fits for their ecosystem.
That's great to hear, Dominic. I think that's answer most of the queries, raised by the community. Do you have anything new? I think you mentioned that there is a new thing that is announced today. So, is there anything that you would like to, give more info about it, or it would be available in upcoming weeks?
Yeah. I mean, it was extremely exciting to obviously. I guess I can also. I'll show you this. I just put it on screen, but this is just like a general architecture of actually how uh, a cross-chain message is sent, right? If you guys can see that, I don't know if you can.
Yes, yes, yes. It's visible.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just actually generally how the flow works. I wanted to at least give you guys a little bit more context on that front. But in terms of what VAP is, so we just shipped this morning. Go into two depths of it because obviously it is a little bit more on the developer focused side, but the idea is that what lacks in Web 2 is verifiability, and with VApps now being coming to market, it's this simple idea to allow for any Web 2 or Web 3 builder to leverage this Rust-based SDK. And so any applications can build on crypto rails, regardless of how much they actually want to be putting on chain. They have the ability to have this verifiability baked into the application. So a cool example would be, Uber. None of their drivers actually know if they're going to be getting their best price, right? They just know that when they are going to book a ride, they're going to get picked up and they're going to have to pay for whatever they charge. And so the idea of having complete verifiability that this is the best price that they're going to offer and this is the reasoning behind it is something that brings more trust into our world without having to rely on these centralized entities. And so there's a variety of different applications that could be able to use this. But at the end of the day, regardless of what chain you want, you have the ability to completely choose and configure how you want your application to generate both on-chain and off-chain artifacts, whether it's verification, proof, etc. Simply, any builder can use this SDK regardless of their Web 2 or Web 3 knowledge and be able to leverage what crypto rails are today. So it's extremely exciting. We've seen some pretty wild benchmarks come to life. I can send you guys the tweet actually here. But this was literally announced this morning. It's extremely exciting. We've been looking forward to obviously putting this in the market. I think there's a lot that will be coming to market over the next coming years. It'll take some time, obviously, but yeah. Also, I'll send you guys this, which is QMDB. There's your guys' Thursday reading. But yeah, no, there's been a lot that we've been obviously working on at LayerZero. We want to push this space forward. We want to see crypto be widely adopted, and at the end of the day, we're going to continue to work as hard as we possibly can to bring this to market. Any questions from anyone? Obviously, I spoke a decent amount here, so don't want to let you guys miss anything.
As I mentioned, you brilliantly answer all of the queries asked by.
I can't hear you, sir. Hello?
Chris, do you want to go ahead? And
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I think we have answered a pretty much of questions here now. So let's move to our next session for the demo. Dominic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Then let's go for the demo, and at the last, we can take the other questions, in case if anyone has.
The demo of which?
Of LayerZero. How people can use the LayerZero.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of what users,
yeah,
the idea of LayerZero is infrastructure, right? And so we don't actually specifically have like a platform where you're going to be using LayerZero like directly. We are powering all of the movement of cross-chain. And so we currently support roughly, I think, 70% of the entire market on cross-chain. We nearly 60 to 75% as well of all stablecoins are powered by LayerZero's OFT standard. And so the idea of LayerZero specifically being something that you use is more on the back of mind. And so when you're looking to move an asset from chain to chain, you will be doing so via LayerZero OFT contracts. In terms of like a demo, what I can show you guys is that the first application that was built on top of LayerZero is called Stargate Finance. And so let me just show you guys this. And honestly, here's a funny thing that if you guys haven't seen this before, if you look up Stargate Finance, you can go there, or you can look up the cheapest bridge.com. And that'll take you to Stargate. So Stargate is the actual front end where you are able to move assets from chain to chain. So, as I mentioned, there's a variety of different things that you can do cross-chain via LayerZero, and there's a bunch of applications that you can use to date. But in terms of actually moving assets from one chain to another, you can go to Stargate. This is the complete bridging front end for anyone. And so how it works is that any OFT or ETH or USDC, so stables and majors and OFTs are all on here. So if I want to move a specific asset from Arbitrum to Ape, I can do so. If I want to move USDC from, let's say, Arbitrum to Base, I can do so here. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of actually bridging funds. XDC, I know that this is, I guess, a little bit of alpha for everyone just because we have yet to specifically announce it, but XDC as an OFT will be coming soon. And so when you guys are wanting to move XDC from chain to chain, you can do so here.
Great. So yeah, let's wait for 2 more minutes and see, in case if anyone has any other questions. Yeah.
Yep.
Please post your questions in the message. Yeah, so we'll be happy to answer. In case if you have any questions around XDC network, we are happy to answer that as well. And we have Dominic here to answer the questions for the LayerZero. Please feel free to drop your questions here.
Yeah, well, people are thinking about any questions. It'd be great for you guys to just share, what are you guys excited for the rest of 2025? Obviously, it's been a busy year so far. You just entered Q2. How are you guys feeling over at XDC?
So at XDC, there are lots of things happening in the pipeline. So we gonna announce the things as per the integrations being done. So we'll just post all these updates through our official handles. Our official handles on XDC_network_ on Twitter. So please do follow our official handle. And in case if anyone in the community has any questions, please feel free to join our Telegram group, XDC Innovation Lab. So we'll be happy to answer all your questions there. And I guess there is no more question from the community here around. So we'll be
I just saw, how do I deploy a simple ping pong contract? So I just sent Ivan, I just responded to you with the design patterns. There's a variety of different design patterns that you can use for LayerZero. So anyone that's building on top of XDC or etc. can be able to use these design patterns. So there's AB, which is just point to point, one chain to another chain. There's ABA, which is chain A to chain B, back to chain A, etc., etc., etc. So you can check those out. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on X or Telegram. My X is dom.x, dom.dotx. I think Cedric had a question for you guys.
Great presentation. I got a quick question for XDC. Okay. Do you plan on attending any crypto events in France in the future? I hope to see you at Paris Blockchain. Yeah, we do have our team will be present on different crypto meetups around the globe. So please check out our event website on xinfin.org/events. So you can find all the events that XDC is attending globally, as well as we have multiple side events. So you can find all the events and side events on our website. And finally, XDC when XDC to Moon.
Hmm.
So this is something that we don't comment on.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's almost 1 hour now, so we'll catch you with our next tech webinar. We'll keep you posted on the next webinar with the next integration. And stay tuned for the next webinar. We'll keep you posted about all the updates on our socials as well as on our LinkedIn group, our LinkedIn page, as well as on our Telegram group too. So in case if any of the community members or anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the group. We'll be happy to answer all your questions. And
Amazing.
thank you so much, Dominic, for your time and for the wonderful presentation here today.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Looking forward to obviously seeing you guys continue to crush it. Thanks everyone for coming in today. It was a pleasure. Looking forward to this again.
Thank you, Ramnik. Have a nice day, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Take care.